Adrian regarding Civil 3D. We can go for a question answer session after all the presentations. You have any questions, kindly ask in the question answer sessions. We will be there to answer you. So let us start with the things. Just wait.
The world is ever changing.
Sorry.
With technological triumphs and scientific discoveries that propel opportunities and help the future. A dynamic new world is not possible through investment in nurturing creative and simple minds. In this world, there has always been training young minds in holistic technical skill sets and careers that define technology. Outcomes.
So this is CADD Centre. CADD Centre is a 30 years old company, and we have already trained successfully more than 1 million engineers across the world. We are present in more than 25 countries, and alumni are working in more than 50 countries across the world. Moreover, in Uganda, we are here since 2017, and we already trained more than 500 participants in Uganda, across Kampala, and even in Rwanda and in South Sudan as well. So let's start with our journey. I request Mr. Donald and Mr. Adrian, you are the co-host, kindly allow the people who are in the waiting room. Please do this needful. I'm audible to all?
Yes, you are.
Okay, fine. So who are the growing partners with us? We are the partners with PTC, Autodesk, Siemens, Cadence, Bentley, SolidWorks, and we are the gold partner of Oracle Primavera. What we are doing, the main thing, we are bridging a gap which is there in between the industry and by the actual education. So you all are registered members of ISU, right? So what is in demand? Basically, all levels of demand are CAD, CAM, and CAE and project management courses. And these courses are offered by CADD Centre under one roof. We are giving continuous instructor training conducted by our internal training academy. Moreover, classroom coaching is supplemented by the world-class reference material. Nowadays, you all know there is COVID. So we are providing online classes to everyone. What we offer, our courses are dealing basically with electrical CAD, CAD for surveyors, electronics, civil CAD, 3D visualization, graphics design, project management, and so on. You all are surveyors, and then you know so many challenges would be faced by you by using traditional methods. For example, the traditional methods are very time consuming. Moreover, the quantification which is done by the analytical measurement from the drawings is a very cumbersome process. Complex diagram is another problem. The diagrams which we draw are less accurate. Moreover, the design quality is also very poor. So how can we overcome by these challenges, and how CAD softwares are beneficial for you all? You can see by using CAD softwares, the thing is very time effective. There is a flexibility and these diagrams are easily editable. Moreover, they are easy to save and share information. There is improved communication through documentation. Results are more accurate in comparison to traditional designs. And there is an improved design quality and increase the productivity of a designer. The designer which uses 1 or 2 hours or 4 hours in a simple design by using traditional design, it can complete that particular design by using CAD softwares within 30 to 45 minutes. So how many softwares are there? We'll see step by step. May I know how many land surveyors are here with us? Can we increase, can they raise their hands? I hope land surveyors are there, quantity surveyors are there with us. 4 participants, 5 participants. Fine. So we are going to start with the land surveyors and civil engineers. So the first is AutoCAD. You all know AutoCAD is a designing and detailing tool, right? It's a basic software. Then after 2D designing, there is a civil 3D, which provide automation and optimization. After civil 3D, we can use Revit architecture, which is a designing and a rendering tool. Another software which is in demand, it's ArcGIS, which provides maps and geographic information. Moreover, Navisworks, which provides project review. The complete projects is managed with the help of project management tools, Microsoft Project and Primavera. Okay, and then now we will move to software for quantity surveyors. So there are so many software for quantity surveyors as well. You know, AutoCAD 2D, Revit, building estimation and costing, PlanShift and Microsoft Project. We'll go in detail after this, after my presentation. Moreover, for the project management, there is PPM Concepts, Microsoft Project, Primavera Foundation, and Primavera Specialized course. So many courses are there. Now, I am going to hand over this presentation to Mr. Donald so that he can explain you about ArcGIS, and then after his presentation, we'll talk about what we offer to you all. I hope everything is okay, Mr. Donald?
Yes, everything
you
is
there?
okay. Yes, I'm there.
Okay,
I'm there.
you can, I am pausing my screen, Mr. Donald. You can start sharing your screen.
All right. All right. Thank you, Madam Anjali, for this opportunity. Can I receive confirmation that you can all view my screen? Yes?
Yes, we can see it.
All right. I'll just turn on my video briefly. Yes. Okay. Good afternoon to you all. My name is Donald Chilibalwanya, and I'm a software training at CADD Centre. I train ArcGIS, and today I'll be taking you briefly through ArcGIS, what benefits are there, how important is it to us surveyors. So let me use the PowerPoint. The slide show. All right, can you still have a view of the screen?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'll start with a brief introduction of myself. Then I'll go into the brief details of ArcGIS. As I've told you earlier, my name is Donald Chidivalwanya. I'm a student member with the Institution of Surveyors of Uganda, and I'm the Mass President, Makerere University Association of Surveying Students. My outline of the presentation, I'll start with a brief profile, a short introduction of myself. I'll go to the definition of ArcGIS and what it does. Then we'll talk about where ArcGIS has been used and also the role of GIS in COVID-19 response. Then we shall have a brief demonstration. Then finally, we'll draw to the conclusion. So straight away, my personal profile. I'm a student member with ISU since 2019 to date, and I'm the current president of Makerere University Association of Surveying Students. I was the former finance secretary of MAS 2018 to 2020, and an entrepreneur. My education background, I'm currently pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Land Surveying and Geomatics at Makerere University. That's ongoing. USCE from DJ Senior Secondary School 2016, and UCE from King's College Budo 2014. My work experience, I'm an ArcGIS software trainer at CADD Centre. From April 2021 to date, I'm still working with CADD Centre. I've also worked with Spider Contractors as a training surveyor from 2018 to 2020. And I've worked with Zuku TV with a call center team as an IT specialist from December 2019 to February 2020. I've worked with UNEB as a data entrant from November 2018 to December 2018. And I've worked with OneSource Hardware as an IT specialist from February 2017 to August 2017. I've trained with Spider Contractors from 2018 to 2020. I've worked on 2 big projects so far. That's drainage improvement works, Lot 1, Nalokomba Swamp Crossing from June 2019 to August 2019, in Kamuli District. And I've also worked on the drainage improvement of works, Lot 2, Chiko Swamp Crossing, August 2020 to October 2020. My hobbies, I love football so much. I love adventure, and I traveling. Yes. So when you move ahead, now want to define what ArcGIS is. I'm requesting Mr. Adrian to kindly allow the people that are in the waiting room, and also I request all of you to mute your microphones. Yeah, definition of GIS and what it does. GIS is a computerized system Note that this data that you're talking about geographical space is georeference data. And georeference data, we mean data that is associated with position using a spatial reference system. And we realize that this computerized system, the GIS, it allows performance of the 3 fundamental stages of data preparation, entry, data analysis, and data representation. Data preparation and entry is the earliest stage or the first stage. And at this stage, this is the stage where we collect and prepare the data to be used within the GIS. And before you can move any further, GIS is the geographical information systems. And ArcGIS provides us with that environment where we can carry out, it provides us with that GIS environment where we can carry out the rest of the work. Then data analysis is the second stage. And at this stage, this is where analysis is made on the data that has been collected and that has been prepared in order to gain insight on that data. Then there is data representation. This is the third stage or the final stage where after having made your analysis, you go ahead to represent your results appropriately using a map or any other avenue that is appropriate. What is GIS used for? One, GIS is used to map where things are. Mapping where things are, it lets us to find places that have features we are looking for. In case you want to map areas with slums, or you want to map where slums are in particular districts, you can use GIS to do that. GIS can be used to map quantities. You can map where the most or the least slums are in each of the districts. You can as well map densities and come up with a density map that can let you measure a number of features using a uniform area unit, such as acres, square miles, so you can clearly see the distribution that you could be aiming to have. Moving further, where has GIS been used? One, governments use GIS to, for example, the recently concluded elections, when they're deciding the different voting districts, they use GIS to do that. Even analyzing demographics, UBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, uses GIS to do that, to analyze demographics from one district to another. Then also timing street lights. This can be done using ArcGIS still through creating linear buffers to see which areas and which spots require street lights. Then want to briefly, we have some which companies use ArcGIS in Uganda. Here I've put three. One is Uber, which most of us use. There is World Health Organization, and there is the National Park Services. So I'll talk about each of these companies that use ArcGIS briefly. With Uber, Uber is a company that relies heavily on geospatial data, as one can see when they request a ride. When you request a ride, the app matches each user with the closest driver who is prepared to take a new ride. So this app is guided by the app. So the driver arrives at the rider's precise location and transports them to their destination. This is made possible using GIS. And for example, the app identifies what areas have the highest need for drivers. Realize that when you're using your phone, and you request for a ride, they will bring for you. It will search for the closest or the nearest drivers. Then it will also notify those that are available so that you can be able to have your ride. Then World Health Organization also uses this system. World Health Organization, it has a presence in 150 countries. It uses GIS to achieve its ambiguous agenda of promoting well-being around the globe by tracking relevant patterns in the health information. It has been so concerned in monitoring and fighting the spread of leprosy. So it can be able to analyze and see which areas have high rates of leprosy. So they can know how to go about that and assist those countries with a high rate of leprosy by implementing GIS databases to identify trends and relationships that can be able to help manage the disease and fight its spread. It has also been used with the current COVID-19 situation. World Health Organization has also made use of GIS to do that, to monitor and fight the spread of COVID, to monitor which areas have been largely hit by COVID-19. When you move further, the National Park Service also makes use of GIS. One important way in the National Park Service uses GIS is during search and rescue operations when tourists get lost, so or confused or injured while on their trails. So it's crucial to help them as soon as possible when they get injured or when they get lost while in the park, while on their trails. So, however, this it's not always easy to find them. So what they do, the search and rescue team uses GIS to provide the rescuers with the detailed maps. So with these maps, the tourists that get lost, they send their details or GPS coordinates, so that the search and rescue team can be able to locate them through using GIS. So these operators, they can also track GPS coordinates from field teams, determining the probability that a lost person is in the area and how likely the teams would be to detect someone in a certain segment of the park. Moving ahead, Uganda Bureau of Statistics also uses GIS. Uganda Bureau of Statistics is the principal data collecting, processing, analyzing, and disseminating agency that is responsible for coordinating and supervising the national statistical system in Uganda. It uses ArcGIS Online, which is a cloud-based mapping and analysis solution. It uses it to make maps and go ahead to analyze the data and to share and be able to collaborate and to advise accordingly on the statistical system. UBOS has used ArcGIS to provide maps, and such maps that are showing demographics of ages for the different districts, as we shall see briefly in our software demonstration. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, also extensively uses ArcGIS in providing the maps below for analysis and decision making in various parts of Uganda. One of the maps is the refugee statistics map, which shows which areas have the refugee camps. Then then there's another map that shows the presence and the refugee locations in Uganda, and then also the refugee hosting districts in Uganda. All these maps are provided through ArcGIS. That's when you are able to have these maps with you. So I've shared the different links there that can assist you to get to access shape files and other data. Then also you have a look at those maps that UNHCR uses for its activities. Then when you move ahead, I want to talk about the role of GIS in COVID-19 response.
You can change it.
ArcGIS has been used in this COVID-19 response. GIS has been used in providing data for decision making. For example, the Prime Minister of Uganda has been using these maps and charts produced by GIS experts for analysis and decision making. An example is the Prime Minister has used these maps to know how COVID-19 relief cash has been distributed per region. And when you have a look in this slide, I'm sure most of you've seen this map in the newspapers, in the different newspapers. You see these maps. So with the current situation of the COVID-19, there is the COVID-19 relief cash that has been distributed per region. So she has been using this to know which regions have so far received the COVID-19 relief cash, and how many, what percentages have received, and what percentages haven't yet received. So I would like to share my other screen as we go into the software demonstration briefly. Can I get confirmation? You can all have a view of my screen?
Yes, we can view the screen.
All right. So realize that with ArcGIS, ArcGIS has what you call Arc catalog and ArcMap, and with Arc catalog, which is right here, this window here, that's where we are able to add data, and that's where we are able to edit. We can add and edit our information and data from catalog. Then when you proceed with the map making and analysis, this is done within ArcMap. So I'll first remove this. So the first thing to do is you have to make sure that the data frame properties, you adjust them, and realize that in Uganda, the current system that we're using is ARC 1960, ETM zone 36 North. So you have to set that to the data frame properties. Then you move to your catalog. If it's not displayed here, there is this icon right here, just below the windows, this icon. You just click on it, your window will be displayed here. Then you move to folder connections to connect to the folder that you're working in. So within that folder, first and foremost, you need to create a folder on your desktop and add the data or the shapefile that you're going to be working with. So when you come to catalog, you are able to connect to a folder. So here for me, the folder that I'm working on is ArcGIS webinar that I've connected to. And within this folder, I do have different shapefiles. I have a shapefile for districts, parishes, regions, sub-counties, and villages. But briefly, I'll use the shapefile for district. So I just drag it and I add it here. So it will be displayed here. So when you have this, when you have your shapefile being added here under the layers, one, you can change the color. You can change the color of your layer, the map layer. That's one. You can as well go ahead and label that. But you need to know, before you can go ahead to do this, you need to know what information your shapefile has. Now with this shapefile that I've added, realize that it has districts. As per 2011, it has districts. As per 2006, it has the sub-region, the region, population, households, population of 2010, households of 2010, population of 2013, male and female. It has various information within the attribute table. So you see that there is access to electricity in percentage, electrification status, the shape length, and the shape area. So when you know the information that you have there, you can close it for the meantime. We can go ahead. We try to explore a bit. So we right click on this layer. Right click, move to properties. There is general source selection, display, symbology, the fields. So I want to look at the symbology. So you come to categories here. Can you still have a view of my screen? Yes, please.
Yeah, it's visible.
All right. So now, we've looked at among the attributes, the attribute table that we've seen the electrification status. So with the electrification status, we want to know which districts have electricity and those that don't have electricity. So you select the field, electrification status, you select the color ramp, then you add all values there, all values there. So you can change the color ramp a bit. So after adding that, you can you can apply. So when you apply, let me just change the color ramp a bit.
That's close. It's a birthday nigga can close. Okay. Kakati when it alarms, oniga kaliwa alarm.
All right. So when you change when you adjust, they say that the blue area is electrified, whereas the sky blue is not electrified. So you can know that the regions that require more electrification. You can be able to know that Kabong, Kotido, Yumbe, Nuer districts, Bulisa, Amuria, they need to be electrified. So we can try to make analysis on another attribute. So if we go to the okay, that is those that have access to electricity. When you add all, when you add those people that have access to electricity, when you apply, when we click OK. So these are the percentages of the different people that do have access to electricity. So you realize that the biggest percentage they don't have access to electricity, which is and those that have access, this one, the 0%, this one, the Kabong area, Kabong regions, Yumbe, Kotido, they have no access to electricity. So we can take on one more attribute. If we go with a population of 2010, yes, it's also the population of 2010. It's quite a number. So for the power map, let us go with this to try and see how we can come up with a map. So with this, with this that we have here, we can. I want to briefly take you about how to come up with a map and what a good map entails. So we realize we have two views. We have the data view, which we've been working on, in, and we do have the layout view. Within the layout view, that's where we can be able to create our map. So down here, I'll just switch to the layout view. So when you go to the layout view, you'll have this display. So one, our map we need to, because it's showing the areas that are electrified and then those that are not electrified. So one, our map should have a title. So we come to insert. We come to insert and give it a title. So map of Uganda showing electrification status. Okay. So our map has a title. One, two, our map should have an author. So you come to the dynamic text, you add an author. So I'll just come to properties. Here, right click, come to properties. Our author, let me say our author is CADD Centre. CADD Centre as our author. We can select the size. A minute, we select the size. Shall select the size. A moment, just taking long. Okay, so the size we can maybe give it 16. Okay, then we apply that. Okay, then we can click OK. So our author is CADD Centre. We shall have the legend. You come back to insert here. There is a legend. Then you add the different fields. You add the different fields. Then you go next, then you finish. So when you finish, okay. So our legend is just right here. Our legend, it is showing that the electrification status. Then then we have our map should have a date. A good map should have a date. So you come to dynamic text and insert the current date. It does a date, so the date is just right here. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, please.
All right. So I need feedback because of these network issues. So for the date, you can adjust the size as well. Move to properties, and we adjust the date. So you click on the symbol. So that you can adjust the date, the size of that. Then we'll be left with adding grids and orientation as well as the scale to power map to be complete. So date may be 18. I'll select this. So it will be right here. Yeah, the left arrow. Then I'll add the grids to this map. So you come here to this frame, the data frame here. You right click, come to the properties. Come to properties. There is where we have grids here. Then you select new grid. You go to a measured grid. Then you click next. You move ahead with the grids and labels. Then you proceed. So store as a fixed grid. Yes, you need to update. Then you apply. So our map has grids as well. Then we need to now add the scale. Yeah, the scale. Still you move just here to insert and insert your scale. There is a scale bar and the scale text. So I'll add the scale text. I'll select the absolute scale, go to properties here. There is this one and then the relative one. Select the centimeters to then the map units, there will be meters. Map units will be meters. Okay. Apply. Okay. And select OK. So let us just make this bigger. Let us just make this bigger. You come to the size and position, and the format. Briefly, it will a moment will change. Just a while. Okay, the format, you can adjust the size here, maybe 16. Apply, make it 18. Apply, can make it 20. Apply, okay. So it has a scale as well. So our map, we've managed to come up with our map that is showing the electrification status of Uganda. We can able to see the regions which are not electrified. So the next thing to do is we can go ahead and export and save this document. So you have to export we shall export it as a PDF. We shall export it as a PDF. Maybe before we can export it, let us first save it as an ArcMap document. So let me select where we should store it. Good now. Okay. Kampala map showing electrification status. Uganda map showing electrification status. Okay, then we save the ArcMap document. Then we can as well export as a PDF. You can export as a PDF or as a PNG, as an image. So I'll just select where I need to store it. Then we save it. So when that is done, we can let us have a view of let us just have a view where we've stored it. All right. Yes, let me just share this. Yeah, can you have a view of that?
Yeah.
So that's the map that we've managed to come up with. But as we said that ArcGIS is beyond, the end product is beyond simply a map. One, it gives you, it can show you a map that it shows you exactly what you want to see or what you need to see, what your aim is. Then it's beyond just a map. There is analysis that you can make with use of ArcGIS. So I'll just go back to the presentation. Yes, so that was a brief software demonstration, how we can come up with a map, how we can simply use, how we can make use of ArcGIS to carry out our work as surveyors. So my lecture will conclude. I'll leave you with this, with a quote by Pele, the footballer. I said that success is no accident, it is hard work. He said that success is no accident, it is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, you must love what you do. Yes, for the surveyors, I leave you with this quote, and all the rest of the participants, I leave you with this quote. We need to love what we do as surveyors. We need to love what we do in life, and we have to continue learning and studying to see that we achieve the success. Thank you so much. I will hand over to you, Anjali.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Donald. Thank you so much for this session. I hope everybody would will learn something from this session. And if somebody has some questions, we can talk about that. Before question answer session, we are about to start with Mr. Adrian presentation regarding Civil 3D. I hope everything is okay. Right?
It's so far okay.
Great. So, Mr. Adrian, you there?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, Mr. Adrian, please start your presentation.
Yes, can you hear me all?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right. Just a moment. Hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes, of course. All right. My name is Adrian Chirabira. I'll be taking you through AutoCAD Civil 3D, where we shall have a presentation outline. We shall talk about how does the Civil 3D simplify the work of a surveyor, then steps taken during, before, and after the use of Civil 3D. What do you have to do? What do you have to do before? Why the do's and the don'ts while using this software. We shall look at data preparation in Excel. There are many data preparation techniques that you can do. You can use other softwares, but particularly here, we shall use Excel. Yeah, we shall also look at some data formats, the common data formats in AutoCAD, understanding the workspace of the Civil 3D, and also basic changes to the user interface. We shall also look at introduction to layers, the basic introduction. We shall also look at the basic introduction to points and the use of lines and polylines. How different are they and when are they used? Common uses of AutoCAD in surveying, while doing boundary opening, subdivision, topographic surveying, and pile volume computations. Of course, there are more other ways on how you can use it, but actually you can look at this. These are the most common ones. Now there's a new technology trending whereby we are dealing much with point cloud, but then that's another maybe we shall get another time to discuss that. So what is AutoCAD Civil 3D? First of all, it's a CAD software. CAD software means it's computer-aided design. CAD stands for computer-aided design. You make your design, you can be able to create, modify, analyze your design. Design, I'm talking about drawings. I'm talking about things like you have a plot of land, you're doing a topographic survey, you can create a drawing for it, whereby at the end of it all, you can be able to export it into different formats for your clients. Yeah, and it can be used by surveyors, civil engineers, architects, and many other people in other fields, provided that they need the skills that actually are presented in here. If I go to the next. Yeah. Before, during, and after the use of Civil 3D, first of all, before you actually go into the software, the first thing, you need to do your data preparation. Here, if you don't get this right, you can have issues later on. For example, you might find that you've collected your data, but then if you don't prepare it well, you're going to have wrong results. It's garbage in, garbage out. The moment you put in wrong data, the software won't make a mistake, but you'll have wrong results. You don't blame the software, it's just maybe the data. Then after preparing your data, you import it, or you can open it for in case you have a drawing that is prepared somewhere already. You can create, you can analyze the drawing or modify them according to how you want it, again through the software. Then you can export your project in 2 different formats. We shall look at them. That maybe your client needs, or you may find that your client needs a particular format that you have to export it to, you have to print it out, those kind of things. So the process continues like that. Yeah, for data preparation in Excel, we shall, just a moment, we shall try to do this practically through the software demonstration section, whereby there are many different formats that the software allows. But then for particular one here, we shall look at the CSV format, which is comma delimited. You know, there's space delimited and other formats, but here we shall particularly look at CSV comma delimited. So there are, as I told you, that there are other softwares that can be used to prepare your data. You can use a Notepad. Can also be used to have this kind of format. And other softwares like ArcGIS, you can have your file from ArcGIS, import it straight into AutoCAD and work with it. Yeah, these softwares can be used hand in hand. You find that there are some tools that are more visually appealing in ArcGIS, yet here they won't be visually appealing. So you can do your work here, then you export it the other side, or you do your work from ArcGIS and then bring it back this side. So the process is actually possible. So some of the data inputs we have, if you have a 3D model, you can have those different data formats, 3ds, DAE, DXF, and you can see for points, you can have CSV. There are many other, you can even have a point file. Then you can also import an AutoCAD drawing. And then we can also look at the export formats. You can be able to export your 3D model again in that. Then point cloud. Here, this is very useful if it comes to, if you're dealing with point cloud, you have your drone data, your laser scanning data, you can be able to work with it straight into Civil 3D. That's how powerful it can be. Those of you who have worked with point cloud, you find out that it's not that easy to work with these point clouds, that they need a lot of, mostly the computing power and also the technical know-how on how to go ahead with it. But it is the future. That's where we are going. So we should adapt to how to work with it. So I'm going to show you some of the things that you can do with the point clouds. Then coming to the workspaces, when you're working with AutoCAD, first and foremost, you need to know which workspace you're working in. Otherwise, you get a problem, you call someone, I'm working with the software, but I cannot see my tools. The tools have disappeared. You may be that the problem may be that you're actually using a wrong workspace. For example, you can see here, there's a civil 3D drafting and annotation, 3D modeling, planning and analysis. So you may be in a different, say you want to be in civil 3D, but then you are in 3D modeling. You have totally different interface. And then you look at something and be like, oh, I think I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong software. I need to install it again, but it's just your workspace that has a problem. So you need I'll take you through that, how to change from one workspace to another, how to edit. Then basic changes for the user interface. User interface basically is, some people want the software to look in a different way. For example, there are people who want the dark theme, that they are most interested in having their software being in a dark kind of way, like changing of colors. Our eyes have different perception. Someone may want some bright colors to be in their softwares. All this can be possible when you're working with this software. Then we shall also look at layers. Layers, you saw Mr. Donald in the previous presentation, he was using layers. There's a concept of layers. This side, it's also there. When you're working, it is very important, actually very, very important when you're working with Civil 3D to know layers, because they can help you to just imagine you have a drawing, leave alone the small drawing, you can have a detailed drawing that has a lot of sections. So if all of them are on one layer and then you want to visualize something, say you have a full plan of maybe building, you have the floor plans, you have the roof plan. So if everything is on one layer and you only want to see the floor plan, you may actually find a problem. But then with this concept of layers, you can actually switch off one layer, put on another one, like that. So we shall also look at them. And also points. You saw the concept with layers, that when you're working with layers, you have to, it gives you room to differentiate your work, organize your work. The same goes with points. You may have points that a point is just like, it can be just a dot, but then representing something. It can be a dot representing a tree, it can be a dot representing a light post, it can be a dot representing a markstone. But then you want this drawing, but then you want each, say, markstones look in their different way. You want trees to look in their different ways. So you can have a use of these point groups. They're very helpful. You just group your points into different point groups and work with them as well. So, so for the boundary opening, I think most of the surveying, when I talk about boundary opening, everyone knows what I'm talking about. So we can actually prepare our boundary opening, setting out data from this software. It is very powerful on that. Depends on how you manipulate and how you want your work to be done. If we talk about people who are doing the work, then you find that they had issues here and there to go back to the previous file and stuff like that. Here again, it's still possible, but this software makes it very easy that you can prepare your work in actually 30 minutes and you get started to work. And most of us in the surveying world have actually adopted that when you go to the field, if you don't have a computer, then that is, you may actually not do the work, because you find out that what you have in the data is different from what is in the field. So this software, if you use to it, you can actually go to the field, you find a different story, you just come back to your software, add just a few things, you have your setting out data, you're out of the field before you know it. So you can attach, for this in particular, how you can do it in boundary opening, you can attach a field print. Field prints are those PDFs, you can get them from Entebbe, any other land office, then align it, and then scale, digitize. I think we're used to these terminologies. If no one is used, then you can tell me maybe to explain more on that. Then for subdivision, AutoCAD Civil 3D actually has, it understands subdivision concepts. But they have a tool called Parcel Tool, whereby you can do, say, a subdivision of maybe even a square mile in just say 1 hour, instead of doing it in just like manually, whereby you subdivide each plot. Then here you just use a tool, you give it that I need plots of this size, then you put your roads, it can be able to do it for you automatically, so you don't need to stress. Then after doing that, after doing your subdivision plans, you can export the setting out data. You go to the field and set out your plots of land. So then topographic surveying, it is very helpful actually, because along the way, as I was studying, there's an assignment that they were giving us whereby we had to provide these things. We had to do them manually. Trust me, just doing a topographic survey of one plot, it could take you like a week, whereby to produce all those contours, to plot all those things. Here in this software, I can just sit down in 1 hour, I have my topographic map and even looks better. Yeah. So we shall also look at the volume pile computations. This is basically when you're dealing with cut and fill of a project that deals in cut and fill. So you have a client, they have maybe their sand or some kind of material or a building material. They want to know how much of it do they have. You can fly your drone around or use a 3D laser scanner to scan the points, or you can even use a total station to collect the points, a few points that can help you generate a surface that you can use to compute the volume. I'll also show you how to generate these reports. Yeah. So let's go to the demonstration, where I shall have first the data preparation in Excel. We shall look at the workspace, the user interface, then the options, introduction to layers, points, polylines. Then I'll show you, with the interest of time, I may not go so deep into how to subdivide using the Parcel Tool, but I'll show you some of my works that have succeeded while using the Parcel Tool. Then the topographic map. Again, here I will not go so much deep into how details on how to create it, again, with the interest of time. Then I'll also show you a demonstration of computation of volume within here. So I'll just switch back to my software. Can you, hold on. Can everyone see my screen?
It's visible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, one of some sample that I have here is from Excel. It was a project, a small road project, whereby we collected road edges, drainage, and stuff like that. When you go to a topographic survey, you know what to collect. You collect according to what the client needs or what the project entails. So here we have our data. We have already exported it. We need to be very sure about these labelings. You need to know that these are the northings, eastings, because should you, for example, I told you that garbage in, garbage out, should you transpose these figures, say the northings, make them eastings, the software will take it the way it is, but trust me, you get wrong things. Yeah, so we need to also be very careful. Yeah, for example, here, I might want to sort out my data. I see it has a lot of things, and I told you about the concept of point groups. So I don't want all of them to be on one layer or in one group. I can be able to do that. I can come to, first of all, sort them, filter and sort. I can filter. I can say, for example, let me first have the center line only. Let me first check them. Have the center line only to bring for me only points that have the center line. I can copy them. Then be able to create a new sheet where I can paste them. please note this, that when you are entering data into AutoCAD, it doesn't have the headers. Should you put the headers, the software is going to reject. It's going to reject them, so it doesn't have headers. But you in yourself, you know that my, for example, if I go back to the previous one, I know it that my points are in points, northings, eastings, elevation, and description. So you need to be very careful on that. So I have my center lines here. Might want to come and save it, save as. Then save it here. Let me call it center line, CL. Then the format, I don't forget to change it. It is a CSV, comma delimited. Yeah, then I save that. So it has been saved successfully. I can close this. I can again maybe say, instead of that, let me have road edge also. Of my road edge. So it depends on what you actually want to plot. You might want to plot trees and just put trees. So it's just about that. So I can create a new sheet, paste them there. Then I save them as road edge. I come, it is a CSV, comma delimited, be able to see them there. Just save. Yeah, so that's how you prepare your work in Excel. One of the key points here to note is you need to be very careful about the order of your work up here. You need to know that which column entails what, because if you don't know that, trust me, you will get messed up when it comes to the software itself to put in the data and stuff like that. Then also you need to know how to sort them, because if you just import everything, it will be a little bit messy. It will have a lot of work that you may not need, most especially for topographic surveys. Just imagine that you have topographic survey of say 1 square mile, and you have these 10,000 points. Are you just going to import them at once? If you have a weak computer, it might even crash if you do that. But then using this, it's one way of organizing your work, and you'll be organized really. Yeah. So that being done, I'm going to take you through the workspace in AutoCAD Civil 3D. When I come back to, hope everyone can see this. Can everyone see this?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's visible.
All right. Yeah. For AutoCAD, it's a simple software. Okay, I wouldn't say simple. It's actually a very powerful software. It has a lot of things that you might even never get to use. But trust me, they can do a lot more if you know how they are done. So for the workspace, I want you to be very careful here. You need to know, for example, if I come up here, you can clearly see that I'm in Civil 3D. But check what happens to my tools and stuff like that if I change, say, to drafting and annotation. The whole workspace kind of changes. So if you open your software and it's like this, be like, hey, I can't see my things. It's just because that maybe you're in a different workspace. You get. So you need to be very careful at this. So there are many workspaces. These workspaces are basically according to how you're going to use the software. You may be more interested in maybe planning analysis, whereby you're going to do more drainage kind of things. You're going to do sewage kind of analysis, those kind of things, runoff water and stuff like that. So you may be actually needing this. But again, you may actually create your own that is different. You may say, I want to create my own. You can come to workspace settings. And here, just before I go to that, there's something that you can look at. For example, I may be not interested, maybe seeing all these, I just want to see Civil 3D. You can tick them off. And when I click OK, and I come here, you see, there's only Civil 3D. Just a moment, you see, it's only Civil 3D and planning analysis. So you can click them, you can click them off. Actually, planning analysis was still on. You can also change their order, move up, move down. So this is also one of the skills you can use when you are dealing with your workspace. But you need to be very careful about this when you're using. If in case you find a problem that your workspace is maybe misbehaving, you don't see your tools, it may be one of the reasons may be because you're using the wrong workspace. I was trying to tell you about the customization of the workspace. You can actually come to customize your workspace. You want your different tools to appear. You can click on customization and you can be able to see the tools, all the tools that are here, actually here in the workspace. So in case you want a particular tool to appear, then maybe remove another tool. So you can be able to come here and there are many things that are really there. So it's about what you need, and you need to be very, very careful that you need to know what you're clicking, because you might click something and you're actually making things getting worse. And also down here, you can look at the commands in the commands and what they do. So in case you want a particular command that you don't know what it does or stuff like that, when you click say on a particular command, let me, for example, click on what? Maybe this. Here, it gives you a description. Just a moment. Software is quite slow. But here in the properties, it gives you the description. This is the description I was trying to talk about, that it gives you the description of what the command does and how to use it, which particular instances do you have to use it. So this is basically, you can go ahead, explore more. There are many commands, very many, millions of them that you can be used here. So that is the issue about workspace. It actually not save this card. Yeah, so that is the point I wanted to make about workspace. In case you have a question, you can prepare them for after I'm done here. So user interface using options. Let's see how you can change your user interface using the option tool. I'll go back to my drawing I was trying to do here. So you see this interface, you may be interested in a different interface and you don't want. Hello? Yeah, I think I was muted, but I hope I'm back on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that you can be you want to change this interface. It looks bad for you. You want maybe a lighter blue interface. You want a pink interface. People have different options, of course. So how to do that? You can come to up here, then you come to options. Then via options, you can be able to see different things. We're interested most especially in the display. See the theme you're using, it's a dark theme. See what happens if I change to a light theme. This software is going to change. You bear with me, it takes some computing power. So you may experience some delays, but you can see the software has actually changed to a light theme. So some people may be comfortable working like this than the other dark theme. Me personally like the dark theme. So I will just switch it back on, then click on apply. Then there's a wireframe. You see the wireframe is this. You see that dark thing that has remained. You can be able to change the color also there, and even change the color of the cursor in case you want. Again, that can also be done in the options view. Got options. Now here you can come to colors. See, I can change the color of my background maybe to what? Let me change to a funny color, maybe like that. You see, it has changed. So someone may be interested in working like that. I don't know who that might be, but you never know. So you can be able to change all this.
Okay.
Yeah, you may also be wanting the typical black, not the other. See now this is typical black, not like the other that was there. You can also be able to change the crosshair. From here, the crosshair is that plus thing that is there when you're working. You can be able to see it here. You can change the color from white maybe to yellow. You can see it is changing. So there are many things that you can play around with if you want to change, depending on how comfortable you want to work with your software. Yeah, that's it with the option. Just in case you have any question, you can again prepare it for at the end of this. Then let's look at the layers. Now for layers, Civil 3D, apart, except from, I think 2009, whereby when you open, you find that you have to create layer one by one. Here, when you open a new drawing, or when you start working, it actually has a lot of layers. If I go to my layer properties, it's just found up there, you find that you have a lot of layers. There are many, and you may not need to work. You don't want to have all these layers. You maybe want to create one by one, you know? So that can be done. First of all, you need to first maybe delete these layers that are there. But if you have worked with this software, you see that some people find it hard to delete these layers first when they start their drawing. But that can be possible using a command having layer del. You see that? And then you specify that I want to delete them by their names. It will highlight all of them here. So you may not actually be interested in working with any of these layers. You want to create your own layers. So you can be able to delete them by just pressing OK. Just delete layers. So if I go back to my layer properties, I don't have any layer. I just have layer 0. This one, you can't delete it because it's like the default thing. You can't delete it. So you need to be, it needs to be there. For example, going back to my work, I know that I have center lines, I have road edges. You may be having other things. So let me create layers for them. Can come here up, is new layer. Create for it maybe, let me say center line, that is CL. I can create maybe road edge, RE. I can change their color from here to maybe different, let's say yellow, that is for road edge. Let me have this one, the road edge is being red. So again, when you create a layer, it's not automatic that they're actually active. You see, this layer center line is actually yellow, but check what happens if I just start doing, if I maybe put up something, maybe a line, you see, it's white. But going back to white, if I click on say a line like this, you can be able to see that it is on layer 0. So how do you activate a layer that you've created? So if I delete this, I'll come back to layer properties. There are two ways on how to do this. You can do it one from layer properties here, whereby you click on a layer, then you click here, set current layer. So you click on it, then see what happens if I try to maybe put if I maybe try to create maybe a polyline. Hold on. Create a line. You see? Now it's yellow. It means that it's on the layer for the center lines. So that's how you can deal with layers. Layers, as I told you, that they're very helpful. You need to know the concept. You will get to know how you can get messed up if you have a lot of data and it's all on one layer. You want to work with something, you don't want to see another one, so you have a really detailed topo that has a lot of features, but then if all of them are on one layer, you can actually get problems when working on them. Yeah, for another thing we can see about layers, you can activate them from here just by clicking on that. If I click on road edge, it has actually activated it. So if I try to create a line, you can see that it is red. So that can be able to help you. And maybe just a small description. I might want to say I have a drawing. Let me just make something here. I say there are circles. I'll just do circles. Simple as they are. Maybe here again. These are 3 different objects. They may be representing one thing, but they're just on different layers. I may be just wanting maybe to just view red. I don't want to view these ones. I can be able to switch them off just by clicking on yellow. I switch it off. I switch off that also. You see that the other features have gone away, but they're not deleted. They are there. So if I want, I can actually just put them back on. So that is one of the concepts that you can use when dealing with layers. So let's see how you work with points. In case you have a question here, you can actually save it for after this presentation. If you want to import your points, remember we created our points. We named them CL and RE. Can come to points, point creation tool there. Then before you do that, there's something I want you to see here. When you're importing points, it's very important that you put them on a layer that you want them to be. So for this point, I want to have my layers. If it's a center line, let it be on the layer for the center lines. If it is road edge, I want them to be like that. So I can actually set a default layer. You see this? Now, if you see this default layer is actually the layer that was, there are many layers that I deleted. So I can set my default layer to maybe, let me first import the center line. I'll just create that. So every point that I'm going to create I'm going to import is going to come under center line. I come to import points. I click on that plus green button. Then I look for my work. I can be able to see it under, just a minute. Let me see where my work is. Okay. If I go to the desktop. Oh, it was because of this. All files. You can see my center line there. So, and also when you're importing these points, you make sure that the Excel, this particular Excel is actually closed. Otherwise, if it's open, it won't accept. So that is also one other thing to note. And also I need to look at my format of how my work is. You see this? It is in this ENZ. These codes mean something. If it is maybe PNZ, this is P, which stands for points, nothings, listings, Z, which is the elevation and the description. So if you guys can remember, my points were in this kind of format, whereby these were the points, these were the nothings, listings, elevation, in the description. Should you maybe click this, or that you can actually import wrong, the data may be prepared well, but you import it wrongly and you have wrong results. So I want to add them to a point group. I'm going to show you how to create one. Just come here. Then maybe CL, standing for center line. So the points are going to be imported, but they're going to be on a layer called center line. Then I click OK. Yep. You may see that nothing has happened, but it has actually something has happened, but because I'm in a different view, so I may zoom to extent, just zoom, extent. So these are my points, you see? These are my points. And if you look at them, they're actually my layer of center line. So let me also import road edge. Just come here, point creation tool. I don't forget to change this layer. I maybe want to export, change there. Come to road edge. I want to look at the points here, which are here. Road edge. Oh, actually now this is refusing. One of the reasons might be because it's too open. Yes, it is too open. So when I close it, go back to importing it. Road edge. So now it accepts. That's what I told you, that if it's not accepting, there are many reasons that may be, but then one of them is because your file is still open. Yeah, and also another point is when you still have those headers, the points, nothings and stuff up there. If you still have them, it won't work. My format is here. And add to a point group. I create one called road edge, RE. In that case, click OK. Everything is okay. Just click enter. So my road edges have actually come in. But you see, if these things were all on one layer, just look at the confusion that would be there. See, I mean, maybe first want to work with maybe center line. Let me first switch off these others. See, now I have my center line. So point groups help you to actually edit the way you see these points. You see here it is showing you the upper one is the point number. This is the elevation, then the description. I may just want to only see the description. I can make use of point groups to make sure to edit this. Doing that is simple. Just click on the point, right click, go to point group properties. Then I come to the point group properties. I can change here the way they look. I change the marker. Be just wanting something like that. And also I can be able to change the way it looks. Just a moment, just size. Let me see, it's that. When I apply, you see, my points have changed. They are now looking better. I need now to change, to remove this, and then I just remain with the description. If you want the elevation on, you can leave it on, because that can also help you in analyzing, most especially for topographic surveys. You may be just wanting to analyze how your topography is actually going. So just come here, layout. Under layout is where you can actually see these things. For example, now we see point description. I want it on. Yes, it's on. Now, if I want to remove point number, just come point number. Visibility, I change it to false. And then elevation, I also don't want to see it. I change it to false rather. So when I say okay, and I apply, I only remain with center line. But I want you to note something here. This center line, this CL is actually representing this point. This is not okay for here. You may be able to see it, but just imagine you have 100 kilometers of a road and all points are like this. You might actually get confused. Is it this one? Is it this one? So you can actually change also the settings for this, the placement of this description, just come to, again, back to our layout. You come to here, the offsets, the Y and X offset. I want to change the Y offset maybe to 4. Maybe 4. Let me see what happens. See what when I apply, you see, now the center line is actually close to my point. So that can also help me to see how my points are. So this is a point. Now, if you don't have point groups, you're going to find a problem to edit all these things, because you might actually just want different style for different point groups. You might want the center line not to have the description, but then you want maybe the manholes or the trees to have the descriptions. So by you having them in different point groups, it can be able to help you do that. So by that, maybe something that I didn't tell you, one is the difference between a polyline and a line. A line is just a connection of 2 points. That's all. Like, for example, create a line and it's just there. You can't go, it's just this, like it's just a connection of 2 points. But then a polyline is continuous. A polyline is continuous, like it's something that you can create like that. But you see, now this is a line, because each node I click on just 1, 2, 1, 2. But when you're joining a topo, you cannot use this. It will not be helpful. For topographic surveys, we normally use a 3D polyline. 3D polyline will also put in the aspect of the elevation. Remember, when we are dealing with topographic surveys, we need X, Y, and Z. For if you are dealing maybe with boundary openings where you're not so much interested in the Z, you might actually just use a polyline, but here you can use a 3D polyline. So if I can come to 3D poly, 3D poly is just here. Click on it. Can be able to join. You need to put my snap on. Oh, snap. Just a moment. Let me first put my big snap. Let me check all of them. This one's help you to target the points. Let me go back to my 3D poly. Yeah. So I can be able to target the center of that point. So you see, I can be able to join my points like that. Most people do a mistake and don't use a 3D polyline and just use a polyline. A polyline can be just on a straight plane, which you might actually not be wanting. You want something that can give you the alignment or the profile. And if I click on this, you see the other one had broken. Let me go back to the lines. See this one, each section was broken. But then here it's just a continuous thing. This is what you should use. So that is maybe I've handled the points and the lines and layers. If in case someone has a question, you can always ask after this. So going back, so I've handled this, then the lines and poly. So let me show you some of the examples that I did for the subdivisions, then the topographics maps, some of them. Subdivisions are here. These subdivisions, they are, for example, you might have a plot. Actually, this person had a plot that was having all this. It was all one plot, but then they wanted to subdivide. if you're doing it manually, it can take you to close to what? Maybe 3 hours, 3 hours. But using a parcel tool, you can actually do this work in 30 minutes. So parcel tool is actually, and it's here. If you want to see, it's here. But with interest of time, I may not go deep into how to use it, but it's actually possible to create layouts like this in 30 minutes. So after creating your layout, you just export the points, the cornerstones. Then you go back to the field, you go and set out. So you don't have to waste a lot of time on subdividing and stuff like that. So you can be able to use the parcel tool for that matter. Then I want also to show you one of the examples of a topographic map that was created. It's actually here. This is a topographic map that was created using AutoCAD Civil 3D. You can be able to see that I have my contours labeled well. And I have, you see this, everything here, the concept of layers I was trying to show you is here. You have different work in different colors. You cannot achieve this. Actually, you can achieve it to change it in different colors, but you might actually have problems when you want to switch off something and then leave another one. For example, you may just be wanting to maybe remain with the road, only the road. You maybe want to visualize it. And if you have all these things on one layer, you cannot switch off another and then put it back on. You have issues there. But then this is one of the map. And with this, I can be able to export it. Maybe print it and stuff like that. For exporting, you can just say plot. I'll continue a single sheet. So you can do the settings here. Maybe I want to export to Microsoft PDF. I want to export on an A3. I want it to center. Just a moment. So you may be having a lot of drawings, but then you just want to export that particular one. So you can be able, that can be possible. Just export. It's exporting now. It's asking me where to place my beautiful PDF. And click and save it here. Maybe try. Yeah. So that's how you can actually export your work after you've done it. Maybe your client wants a map to show maybe where the plot is and stuff like that. All that can be done in here. And if I go back, I can view it. If I go back to my work, it's here, my PDF, and I can be able to see it. It's not looking that beautiful because, of course, I've not changed the colors and stuff like that. But I was just showing you the concept of exporting. So you can go ahead and print it to change the way it looks. So those are the examples of topo and probably the subdivisions. So this subdivision, I want to take time. Maybe you can invest in more time or more resources to learn how the parcel tool works, because as surveyors, we actually need it. If you are mostly here dealing with real estate designing, you have your clients, but most of them have estates, and they just every time they're developing, they're designing, and you can also change the layout. For example, clients, you can create a layout like this, but then a client doesn't want this layout. They want you to change a few things. If you're doing it manually, you will have issues. It will take a lot of time, but here, parcel tool, just change a few settings, you'll be having your layout ready before you know it. And you can actually see that you can set the kind of area you want. can be able to do it for you, do for you a residue. All that can be done. Then the last thing I want to show you is a demonstration of computation of volume. You might have a client. For example, if I go back to this, you can have a client. They have maybe their resources, as I said, maybe sand, maybe something like that, and they want to have an estimation of how much of that material do they have. So this work was done by a drone. It was actually some stockpile that was somewhere whereby wanted to know the volume in that area. If I can go back, if I can click on it and come to my object viewer, you can see that it is a 3D. It is a 3D. You see, it is not. It's not just a 2D thing, but it's a 3D. But I want to know the volume to this. Maybe, for example, take that this is maybe a terrain. Maybe someone wants to construct some building here, and you want to know how much they're going to cut, how much they're going to fill, like how much do they need, like all that can be done within this software. You can even export your report. After that, let me first exit my object viewer, have my surface here. One of the first things when you import your file into AutoCAD for 3D, you first work on it and it be in RCP format. That is one of the formats that are accepted in point clouds. So you clean it, you make sure that it is ready for computation of volume. So you import it, you create a surface for it. As I showed you that example,
Excuse me, Adrian. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes, please.
Could you summarize in 2 minutes so that we can go into the Q&A session?
Okay. Yeah, maybe to save time. Yeah, this is you have your surface here, but then you create your base. You create two surfaces. One, the surface that has your work, but then you also create the base surface for you to create a volume. So that can also be done. Everything. You create a report, a volume report that is just a moment. Just with the interest of time, I'll just show you one of the reports that was actually generated from that. You can generate a report like this just by click of a button. So that can help you to know how much you're going to cut. You see, it can show you the cut, the fill, the net volume, like all the details that you want. So this is also a very powerful software. We've just handled a very few things. Actually, we've just handled less than 1% of what this software can do. So as surveyors, we actually need it. We need to see all the ways on how we can embed these kind of things in our work. Over to you, Donald.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Adrian. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I hope everybody gains some knowledge after this session. Though I am a very beginner, but I must say that I learned a lot. So now I would like to know from all of you. Now this is a question answer session for everybody. Can I share my screen? Mr. Adrian, please stop share your screen, please. So, wait. Is there any question from anybody? Please let me know. Kindly raise your hands or unmute you one by one, no problem. Or you can give us a question on your chat, if it is possible.
Yes.
Yes, please.
This is Aruho.
Yes, Mr. Aruho.
Yes, my question is, most times just right from the presentation right now, it shows that if you are, let's say, going to put that printout of the, it was a corridor section, it is right from the data which is given or which is just from the site, from the survey. Now, the question is, if you are given something like a command, or it's a curve and you have to put it in place, you just have the starting points.
Sorry, Mr. Arvo, your voice is not very clear. Mr. Donald, can you answer?
I didn't get his question well.
Yeah. Mr. Arvo, can you please write in the chat box if it is possible?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, anybody has still time? Is there any query from anybody's side? What I can show you, there are so many softwares for quantity surveyors, for project managers who are there. Let us check. So till time, we can go ahead if there is nobody to question or there is no query from anybody's side. Let me check. We are training, we are a software training center and then we are international one. So now Mr. J. Vadva, you have a question. Let Donald discuss about scales. We are going to have some different sessions in coming weeks. We will share you the schedule, though it may be, they may be a paid session, but on a very nominal price. And if somebody would like to join the complete courses, they can talk to us while our courses, what we are providing. Please check from here. You can see we are providing internationally recognized certificates with world-class courseware. These are ebooks nowadays and handouts. Moreover, industry-specific skills. So you can see this is a certification sample. It has a unique QR code. Anybody can validate that this course is actually done by you. Your employer can verify. So you can see all these things. Moreover, there is an offer for ISU members. You can see here are the special prices for you guys. We are providing courses for AutoCAD, Civil 3D, Revit Architecture, ArcGIS, 3ds Max, ArcGIS, PPM Concepts, Project Management, Microsoft Project, Primavera, and PMP. Those who would like to know more about us, kindly contact us on these numbers. These are my team member numbers. Ellen, Susan, they are the most probably you all know them because they are the one who are contacting you on CADD Centre behalf. Moreover, if you would like to talk to me, please WhatsApp me on 0700 852 190. My name is Anjali. I am the head of CADD Centre Uganda. And if you would like to mail me, kindly mail me at anjali@caddcenteruganda.com. Is there any question from anybody? Mr. Adrian, there is a question for you. Could Adrian please throw more light on how to use AutoCAD for boundary opening? May I know whose question is this? We can go for more details in the coming sessions. I request to everybody, kindly be in touch with us. Those who would like to go for the recordings and the presentation, please share your contact number, full name, and your email ID with us. Almost maximum people has been shared, but if it is there, then we can do that. Mr. Jeffrey, now the courses can be learned online. We are giving online trainings, no problem in that. The courses are of different durations depending upon their length, maybe 40 hours, maybe 50 hours, maybe 60 hours. And we are providing these courses. If you would like to go for the schedule, we can share our August schedule with you guys. Mr. Kakwa has a question. What is the possibility of export? Just wait, please. Mr. Donald, can you see Mr. Kakwa's question?
Kakembo's question? He has addressed it to Adrian.
Mr. Kakwa, can you please speak if it is possible? There is so much chat, I lost your question.
I was actually asking the possibility of exporting data from Google Earth, because I didn't see it anywhere in the presentation, but I was asking if it's possible to use data from Google Earth into Civil 3D for topographic surveys.
Mr. Donald, can you answer? Hello.
Yes, please.
Donald, you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm requesting Adrian to provide an answer.
Yes. The question is yes, and you may need some plugins. That's some advanced feature that you can use to actually be able to use work from Google Earth into Civil 3D. So it's possible, yes, but it's some advanced plugin that maybe, as Madam Angel has said, you can maybe contact the CADD Centre if you want the full description of that. And I've seen someone asking about that he missed out on the sorting of the data in Excel. That is, it's a tool in Excel. It's called filter. So you just click on the row that you want to sort. You click on it, then you just click on the tool to filter. Then you filter out which data you want to export to. Yeah.
Anybody else who has any question? I have shared my WhatsApp number in the chat box. Kindly check. You can mail me at anjali@cadcenteruganda.com. There are some offers which are going on for the coming sessions. Please check everything if you want. Those who are ready to join, we can give them a good offer. Moreover, we are coming up with some more paid sessions. May I know any particular thing you would like to learn from CADD Centre, any particular topic in ArcGIS or in Civil 3D or AutoCAD 2D, we can go for that as well. So kindly share your topics you would like to learn from us, online, offline, whatever it is. We will help you in that. We can arrange some sessions in the coming week for you all. So please be in touch. with us. Any other question from anybody's side? Kindly unmute your mic and you can ask, please. Wait. Topographic surveys and volume calculations. Okay, Mr. Robert, we are writing this and we'll try to prepare a session for you and the other interested people for the same. Mr. Donald and Mr. Adrian, kindly write down these topics. We can arrange a session for them. Anybody else?
Hi.
Hi, Gloria. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good, but your voice is not very much clear to us.
I was asking about the beam.
I'm sorry, Gloria, you are not very clear to us.
Me now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah, I wanted to find out about beam and whether there are schedules for it.
You want to go for BIM, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have different courses. You know that BIM is not a particular software. It is a combination of some processes, right? So like Civil 3D, Revit architecture, and Navisworks comes under this. And we have different specialized courses. Kindly share your details with me, Gloria, and then I can share all the specialist program of BIM with you. They are on the way. In
All
August,
right.
we are providing.
I'll send you an email. Thanks.
Thank you, Gloria. Thank you for your interest. Okay, Mr. Bunkans, the parcel tool for doing estate layouts is very interesting. I would like to learn more of that. Great, Mr. Bunkans. We are writing all these things. We are, and then we'll provide a session on those parts. Anybody else who has any question with us? Please share your email so that we can share the recordings and the presentation with all of you. I request everybody, please share your number, your emails and full name so that we can send the audio link for the recording and the presentation to all of you. And thank you so much, everyone, for attending this session. Thank you, Mr. Donald. Thank you, Mr. Adrian, for the wonderful presentation and your support.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bankas. Okay, everybody, thank you. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Soon we'll meet again and I will update ISU members and Sarah regarding our upcoming sessions for you all. Have a great evening.
You too. Simon. Kulikayo. Kale Simon. Nawe je bariko. Okay.